What's up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Barbecue, and a while back Camp Chef had sent me one of their Camp Chef Woodwind grills and the Traeger Pro 22 just to do some comparison cooking on. I've ran it through the paces a little bit. I smoked some ribs on it last weekend, and actually I was a little bit surprised about that. That's going to be a different video. Anyway, what I have now is I have some boneless ribeye steaks. And what we're going to do is compare the Camp Chef Woodwind to the Traeger Pro 22. Now, as far as the thickness on these steaks go, we're about 1.5 inches, not super thick, not super thin. 1.5 inches is a good thickness on it. What are we going to season it with? You know what? If you know me, you know I just can't go with salt and pepper all the time. This one is we're going to hit it with salt and pepper. I have some Mediterranean sea salt. Just some coarse black pepper, and I have an espresso ground coffee. I think this is a French roast, so we're just going to kind of hit it with a little bit of that. And not a whole bunch, we're just going to kind of massage it in a little bit. Alright. Put the coffee rub on both sides before we actually season it. So, I already know, just from cooking on it and everything, the Traeger is not going to be able to sear these steaks, no matter what kind of, searing accessory that they have, but I at least want to give it a fighting chance. So I have a cast iron grill grate that I'm going to throw in the Traeger just so it's not totally lopsided. I already know that the Traeger is going to have a little bit of issue trying to get the same sear on it as the Camp Chef, so I'm just trying to level out the playing field. You know what? Let me rinse my hands off real quick, and we'll finish seasoning up this steak. All right. So we got our coffee ground on there. We're going to hit it with a little bit of this salt. And this is kind of a coarse salt. And we're going to go ahead and hit it with the pepper. Now I'm going to let this kind of seep in naturally. So this is going to have a chance to sit for about 12 minutes. Then off camera, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. In the meantime, I'm going to be out here getting both of these grills up. What I'm going to do is cook both of these steaks at 225 degrees until we get to about 110 degrees internal temperature. I'm looking for more of a steak on the rare side. If you want it to be more on the medium well side, cook them to 115, maybe 120, and then sear them off. The thing with this Camp Chef is that sear box gets so hot, like up to 900 degrees, that if you cook this to like 115 degrees and expect to get to 130 degrees after the sear, you could blow right past that with that, with the heat that sear box puts off. So we're going a little bit more conservative on the initial part of this reverse sear. Anyway, I'll meet you out at the grill. These steaks are on the grills. I have both of them set at 225 degrees. Like I said, we're going to take these till we get to about 110 degrees. I do have my cast iron grates in the Traeger, even though the meat's not sitting on them. I just want those grates to get hot while we're cooking, so they're as hot as they can get once we start searing them. Anyway, I'll see you back when they hit 110 degrees. Both of these steaks off at 111 degrees. Now I turned my Traeger up to 500 degrees, so we're going to let that cast iron grate that I put in there get super hot. And in a while, I'm going to go ahead and turn on this side sear box. That doesn't take quite as long to come up to temperature. Anyway, I'll meet you outside. So let's go ahead and get this steak on the Camp Chef. The Traeger's taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to get up to temp. We're going to let that go for about 2 minutes. About 2 minutes have gone by. Let's go ahead and give it a little bit of a turn. We're going to let that go for about another 2 minutes as well. We've gone about 1.5 minutes. Let's go ahead and flip it. Looking good to me. We're going to let this go for, we're going to repeat the same process here. 2 minutes, then maybe 1.5 minutes. So that's gone 2 minutes. Let's go ahead and give it a bit of a turn. And once this has gone another 1.5 minutes or so, this one's going to be a done deal. We'll be able to let this one rest and we'll get onto this Traeger. So that looks good to me. We're going to go ahead and pull this off. We're going to let this rest. We're just going to go ahead and shut off that side burner. Now let's get over to the Traeger. So I got this up at the maximum temperature. Looks like the highest I'm able to get is 431 degrees. Let's go ahead and throw this steak on. And I'm probably going to end up having to let this go for like 3 minutes. Turn it, half a turn. Let's go ahead and flip this and see what it's looking like. It's not too bad. Looks good. Okay, this one looks like a done deal. Let's go ahead and take this one off. We're going to let them both rest and we'll do a nice little taste test on it. So while we're letting these rest, one thing I wanted to point out was this is the Camp Chef one. If you can see, it looks a lot more juicy than the Traeger one because to even get any kind of a sear on it, I had to pretty much double up the time to get the same sear. And that was using my cast iron grate. So what I'm hoping is that I didn't end up overcooking this, trying to achieve the same results as I was able to get with the Camp Chef. Anyway, I guess we'll see you in a little bit. Alright, so it's the moment of truth. Time to cut into these. Now this one's the Traeger one. Let's go ahead and cut in the middle. Okay. And we're looking like a rare on that. Just like I wanted. Let's go to this Camp Chef. Cut a little of this fat off of here. Again, we're kind of rare, slightly medium rare-ish. That coffee rub is the bomb. Now, comparison between the two, it's not a huge difference. You know, the Camp Chef, you know, able to get that searing done in about half the time. I had to have the steak on the Traeger for about double the time to get the same results as far as the sear goes. And keep in mind I was using a cast iron grate that wasn't standard to that, to the Traeger. Appearance wise, the Camp Chef has, better grill marks on it. And I don't think that really has much to do with anything other than the grill grate that I was using for the Traeger might have had, the grates were maybe a little bit closer together, something like that. But one thing I can tell you is my wife is not going to touch this thing, either of them. So what I'm going to end up doing is throwing it out there on that Camp Chef because I can go ahead and get that thing lit up real fast and finish cooking it. If I needed to get back out there on that Traeger, it's going to take me another 15-20 minutes just to even get up to temp to even get it cooked through for her. Anyway, I love that sear box. If you're thinking about a smoker, and one thing I haven't brought up yet, and it was in a totally different video, but that Camp Chef, I was cooking some ribs on the Camp Chef and on the Traeger, and if you lift the lid up, the recovery time on that Camp Chef is about, if I had to put a percentage on it, I'd say anywhere from 20 to 25% faster, meaning you open up the lid, if you're at 275 and it drops down, you know, let's say it drops down to 215 or something like that, or, you know, somewhere in that neighborhood, to get back up to that temperature on that Camp Chef is a lot faster. I don't know if that has, the interior parts to me seemed about the same, but it may be that heating rod that sticks out into that pot might be heating up more pellets. I don't know, but anyway, thanks for checking out this comparison between the Camp Chef and the Traeger Pro 22 steaks. I appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.